Thank you very much. Imam Ilahi, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, please allow me to thank the Islamic House of Wisdom for inviting me to speak today, especially in this great period of Ashura. I'm not going to speak about Imam Hussein alayhi salam per se. The life and times of Imam Hussein has been well documented here by Imam Ilahi over the years, and this year is no exception. The Islamic House of Wisdom does a wonderful job outlining the days leading up to Ashura. So I am not going to speak upon that aspect, because quite frankly, I wouldn't even come close to presenting like Imam Ilahi. But what I'm going to speak about is my Ashura moment. And what do I mean by that? You see, ladies and gentlemen, every one of us, at least once in our lifetime, has a moment whereby we have to overcome a struggle or a setback in life. Please don't misunderstand me. In no way, shape, or form am I comparing our setbacks or struggles to that of Imam Hussein. His moment had worldwide and longevity significance, while my moment and our moment are minuscule in nature. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Imam Hussein took a stand. He believed in a cause and was willing to die for that cause. I am merely attempting to try, and probably won't succeed, to share my little personal struggles in life and how my struggles in life are a blessing from God that ultimately helped me to the position I am in today. How others dealt with setbacks, including Imam Hussein, helped me strengthen my heart and my thought process along the way. Fast forwarding to today's times presents us with situations where we still today encounter setbacks, struggles, and adversity, albeit in a much minor scale. How we handle these situations is what determines our future fate. This is where we look to history, our education, our elders, our family, our religious leaders like Imam Ilahi for guidance, all the while trusting our faith to get us out of a tough situation. The faith that Imam Hussein died for. His stance blossomed into the most beautiful religion, whereby the fruits didn't appear right away, but they are sure bearing fruit today some hundreds and hundreds of years later. Imam Hussein knew what we should never forget, that God is the master planner, and we should never stop believing and never, ever waver in our faith. There are many words to describe Ashura, including setbacks, struggle, allegiance, faith, courage, the list goes on and on. The first challenge I had in my life was law school. I remember in an auditorium like this, 150 students in the class, and the professor was talking about statistics. This is my first year in law school. He was saying if you didn't get a 4 point in college, if you didn't get all A's in this class, if you didn't get this on the ACT, if you didn't do this on the law school admission test, you might as well leave law school right now. You're never going to succeed. I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking, I'm in every one of those categories. Am I ever going to pass law school? Well, alhamdulillah, 3 years passed. Alhamdulillah, I passed law school. And I went back to that professor and I told that professor, I says, you know what those darn statistics don't measure? They don't measure one's heart, one's desire, and one's faith. And alhamdulillah, I passed law school. And as all of us know, right now, we are close to election time. And that is in this country, and it's November 8th, to be exact. I will reference that date in the context of my remarks because it played an important role in my history. Which brings me to the second moment in my life, how I came to be judge of the 20th District Court in the city of Dearborn Heights. And please forgive me when the word I is used in my speech today. Because believe me, when I tell you, I should be saying we. Because it was a collective effort from my wife, my family, my friends, my community, my religious leaders, my faith, that carried me to where I am today. As I mentioned above, most of us in life encounter setbacks. And setbacks sometimes are a sign from Allah, trying to signal us that the path we are going down is not the right path. You see, ladies and gentlemen, struggles and setbacks are not necessarily all bad. Remind you the story of the young man and the king. This king put a boulder in the middle of the road. Some people, when they came to the road, they just yelled at the king and said, "Why don't you move this boulder?" So, some people just went around it. Nobody did anything to move it. Then a young man came along, he put down his work, and he started pushing this boulder, pushing it, and he pushed it to the side of the road. And underneath that boulder, he looked, there was a little purse with gold coins in it. And he opened up the purse and it read, "This is for the person who moves the rock." The king put that message in there. So this young man learned what many others never understand. No good deed ever goes unnoticed, and every obstacle opens a door to a better opportunity and presents an opportunity to improve one's condition. Just like the young man realized, setbacks can present opportunities that you never thought existed. In my case, it turned out to be a blessing from Allah. After I passed the bar exam in 1991, I opened up my own practice. While practicing law, I began to get interested in government. In 2000, I was appointed to the Dearborn Heights City Council. The following year, in 2001, I had to run to retain my seat. And as I campaigned in 2001, well, we all know what happened. 9/11, which needless to say, we were all saddened during this tragic time. Muslims during that time were challenged in every aspect of our lives. Like many other Muslims, I was also blonde-haired, blue eyes, but I was also profiled during that election, and as a result, I lost by 1,800 votes. The city was not ready to vote for a Muslim, especially in the midst of 9/11. I was extremely upset about this profiling. I was born in America, I was raised in America, I was mainstream American. How could this happen to me? What should I do? Should I turtle up and hide in the corner and never run for future elected position? Or should I continue my ambitions in life? I sought advice from many people, including my father, Hajj Turfe. He reminded me of the struggles of many people that overcame worse situations, which ultimately led to their success, including iconic people like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Armed with history, and more importantly, my deep down faith, we decided to go forward in the election process and work harder and show the people who we are and who we stand for and what we stand for. In 2003, I ran again for city council. We had a totally different mindset this time around. We campaigned as proud Muslims that will never apologize for our faith or hide from our faith. This profiling struggle made me a stronger person and, more importantly, a better Muslim. We worked hard. We walked door to door, highlighting our credentials, with women wearing hijab, and men proudly displaying our religious upbringing. After all that work, you know what happened? We lost again. Yes, we lost. I lost. But this time I lost by only 49 votes. A different problem arose here. The profiling struggle I dealt with in the previous election was put to rest. Now the issue of voting was the struggle, was the setback. Some of my closest friends did not vote. They thought that one vote would not matter. And as we know now, every vote does count. Thus, don't forget to go out and vote on November 8th. After the second setback, I was devastated in a lot of ways. I lost 2 elections, was profiled, our community were too lazy to go to the polls to vote. I worked hard, until I prayed, I fasted, I gave to charity. How could I have lost? Although I didn't realize initially, these 2 losses were the most significant events that could ever have happened to me in my political career. It just was going to take a little longer for me to realize the fruits of our labors. God knew that the foundation for future success was being founded upon these setbacks. My patience and perseverance were being tested to determine if I truly was worthy of accomplishing my ultimate goal. Remember, and I'll say this a million times, God is the master planner. He knows what is best for you. So I stepped back and I started to contemplate my future. Unbeknownst to me, God was planning a better future for me, like He planned a better future for the progeny of Imam Hussein. In 2006, one of the judges in Dearborn Heights was retired. After much thought and many prayers, I decided to run for judge. This was going to be much more difficult than the previous elections because in this race, there were 5 people running for judge, including myself. Every expert told me not to bother to run. You couldn't win for city council. You don't have a chance to win for judge. But just like my professor in law school, The experts underestimated the heart and the desire and the unwavering faith of our campaign team. They were the best team ever assembled. We walked the city twice while the community donated generously to the campaign. There were 5 candidates in the primary in 2006. From the 5 candidates, the field had to be narrowed down to 2. Alhamdulillah, when the votes were totaled, I was the #1 vote getter in the primary. Then in the general election, alhamdulillah, we won by 286 votes. And I can tell you that I would have never been elected but for the strong support of you guys, our community. When people heard I lost by 49 votes in 2003 in the city council election, they got mad. In 2006, over 65% of our community came out to vote. Those numbers were unheard of, astronomical. You see, ladies and gentlemen, how there's a silver lining in most struggles. It took a 49 vote loss to finally educate our community the importance of voting. God is the master planner. I ran again in 2012, and alhamdulillah, I ran unopposed. And I'm still judged today. It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, each one of you have a similar story like me, and how close God is to us. You see, if I had won the other 2 elections, I probably would not have been elected judge. I'm totally convinced of that. The position I really wanted. Why? Well, as I look back, I would have become complacent. That arrogant attitude would have prevented me from working hard as we did when I ran for judge. The setbacks that occurred in my life made me appreciate the values of life. It taught me to meet tough situations like a man and success with humbleness. In addition to all that, and probably most importantly, losing these 2 elections for city council allowed me to perform my pilgrimage to Hajj and to do other things that I would have never been able to do if I had won that city council race. Coming from Hajj and with the knowledge and experience of the 2 previous losses, I was truly a different person. I could accept my fate. I could accept any fate that was destined for me. When I prayed at night, I would ask God not to win the election, but instead I asked Allah, please do what's in me and my family's best interest. Despite these setbacks that occurred in my life, it was my faith that ultimately allowed me to succeed. That deep down belief that God indeed is the master planner was what kept me pushing forward. Correct application of your faith, remembrance of struggles like Imam Hussein and others similarly situated, will help you overcome all setbacks and challenges along the way. Set realistic goals. Never give up and always finish what you start. If you feel strong about your destiny, your ambition, your dreams, pursue them. You may not realize your goals the first time or even the second time around, but if you keep the faith, work hard, eventually you will succeed. Just remember, never, ever, ever waver in your faith. Be patient and always exhibit tons of heart and desire. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.